So in the last couple of years, I've moved around a few times, South Africa to Sweden, Sweden to the UK, and then from the UK to Australia. So I have a fair amount of experience in doing this. Basically, there's a couple of ways that I know that you can do this. You can either get stuff sent as extra luggage. There's services that do this. You can actually, what I did in 2015 is get cardboard boxes, basically the size of a large suitcase, and sending that over. I remember I was walking one day to the train station and I happened to spot these boxes that were the exact dimensions that I needed for what I wanted to take, and that's what I did in 2015 when I moved back from the UK back to South Africa. But from Australia, from the UK to Australia, you know, this was a different thing. Firstly, I wasn't close enough to the airport, so you know, and I wasn't taking a direct flight, so I would. It was just too much of a mission to take this thing as additional luggage. I just couldn't manage it. And so I looked at different options. Now, you get obviously air freight and then shipping it via, you know, a shipping container. The one is shipping via the sea is obviously cheaper than sending it via air freight, but it obviously takes longer. I obviously did not have enough that I could fill an entire container or even a quarter of it. So what you can do with a lot of these companies, like Pickford's or whatever, you can just get boxes, and then it's basically a shared shipping container. So you just share that with someone else and you still get your stuff shipped over to you, just as you would anything else. And it is significantly cheaper. So you basically got to work out, kind of bluntly, what is worth taking and what is actually just easier just to sell than taking with you. So that's what I didn't take my bike. I decided to sell that, which we can save for another day. What else did I leave? A few other things, I think, like a heater and something else. But anyway, so the company I settled on was 7 Seas. My friend had used that and recommended it, and I'd heard of them before, and it seemed pretty good. So what they recommend and what I did was, you need to order more boxes than you will actually need. They'll only charge you for the boxes you actually ship. So I ordered more than that, and in the couple of days before they came, I actually used the corner of my room. I measured out the exact dimensions of these boxes to try and get an idea of what I'd be shipping and how much space I would need. And I got it almost, I got it exact. So it was just stuff like books and stuff. So they come a few days before you get the packaging material. They didn't give me enough bubble wrap, and the day they shipped this, it was Monday. It was November, I think. Yeah, it was pissing down with rain. So I went out cycling to B&Q, which is a hardware store in the UK, to get bubble wrap. I've never gotten so wet in all my life. I mean, I was still wearing a raincoat. It got in my shoes. But anyway, so I wrapped up all the stuff. They came earlier than I expected. But then, you know, just frantically sealed the box. I mean, this was 2 days later. Sealed up the box, and they took it off. I also sent a suitcase and a few other things. I took the tripod. I was going to ship that with them, but it was just too big. And with Singapore Airlines, which I was flying with, they have a thing, I think it's by weight. So you can have as many bags as you like, as long as it's within your 30 kilogram allowance. So that was great. So I just took this as this tripod as additional luggage. But yeah, so the one thing, and the thing that's always tedious about doing this, is for customs you need to complete a goods inventory. So if there's one thing I could teach you, I would tell anyone who does this, and it has saved me so many times, is keeping a spreadsheet on your computer with the item, the description of it. If you can find out what is called the it's the HS tariff code. I mean, that's a bit extra. You don't necessarily need to do that, but that just helps. That's basically a way of, when stuff gets shipped over the world, you have to classify it. So there's this whole like book or guide that gets used. I think it was developed by the World Trade Organization. So it basically actually has a code. So a digital camera, a phone, a book, anything like that has like one of these codes. You don't have to have it, but it's just easier if you don't know how to describe things, and it's easier for the customs officials. So yeah, just having a spreadsheet like that. possibly if you want to put on there when you purchased it and how much you paid for it. Depending on which country you're sending it to, you either need to own the goods for 6 months, or in the case of Australia, up for a year. Basically, you don't have to pay tax. It's basically an exemption from paying customs duties, because if you were importing this as any other person, you'd have to pay customs and taxes on that. Whereas with this, you're exempt from customs duty. I think they might charge you a handling fee, but that's about it. We shall see when this thing arrives in Australia, because it's not here yet. It's due to arrive soon, so I'll see what happens. Shipping via the sea is cheaper. It takes a bit longer, so work out the stuff you want to take. You can send practically anything as long as it's not prohibited goods. Really just make a spreadsheet and keep a list of all the items you want to send. If you can do that in advance, it will really save you a lot of time, because they're going to ask for the description of the goods, everything that's in the box or container or suitcase that you send. You have to give them literally every single thing, and so make a spreadsheet of that. It will make your life easier. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say about this. So if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try and answer them in the comment section below. But I will see you next time. So bye bye.